This is Bangin inside the WhoBanginSportstalk lab, researching your betting angle of the day. Let's get started. How we doing, everybody? Bangin here, WhoBanginSportstalk. Hopes everybody's having a good day. This is Friday, 3 days before the All-Star game, and I've been talking about it all week. It's been a tricky week as far as capping, as far as I'm concerned. The week before the All-Star game, players are thinking about the game, or they're thinking about going home. Managers are maybe giving some players rests, like we seen Judge get a rest the other night in the Bronx. We see some pitchers maybe not getting their full amount of innings and stuff. So I always think capping the week before the All-Star game is a little bit tricky. And what I did this week was cut it down from my usual 6, 7, 5 plays a game to like 3. So it worked this week, but I just think it's a volatile week. I've seen a lot of people have some rough spots this week. So I really think that has something to do with it. But as far as talking about the All-Star game, that's the first half of baseball, basically, right? We're a little bit over 80 games, and we're a little bit over 80 games. And, to me, this first half, it tells us a few things, but is there really a clear-cut winner to the end? I'm not so sure. A couple of weeks ago, I'm sure people were saying the Yankees, and still are, and for good reason. I mean, they are just crushing that division, but is it going to last? I had a theory about 2 weeks ago that I discussed with our friend Jimmy the Bag about the Yankees, and I didn't really follow through on it as much as I should have, because they did lose as big dogs a couple times. But I was more on them as with unders and stuff. But the Yankees, besides having one of the most come from behind wins, like 27, 28, something to that in that range of come from behind wins. They have like the one, again, top 3 or maybe the most in 1-run games, wins with 1 run, and wins with 3 runs or less. That was a trend that was going strong for a while. And about 2 weeks ago, I started noticing it, and I thought that maybe they'd be heading for a little, with a little soft spot, which isn't really a great prediction because of the run they've been on. Sooner or later, every team is going to take that little lull. But let's see what happens after the second half. I still think the Yankees might have a little bit of a rough spot to maybe make 2-3 weeks out of the All-Star game, and then we'll see what they're really made out of. They have the luxury of being ahead 13 games. They have the luxury of having a team like the Toronto Blue Jays having no heart, I don't know. I can't even describe it, how bad I thought that loss was for them last night against the Royals, putting on the team that we know had 10 starters out. With COVID, for non-vax, not I was going to say COVID protocol, non-vax, but up in Toronto, it's just a shame that over the last 2 weeks, I bet they could have chopped. I could go over probably 5 different areas where they could have, knocked out those games. They could have knocked it down from 13 to at least under 10, or at least 10. And for them to put a performance like that last night against the Royals, to me, shows you what the kind of team that you're going to be looking at. They don't really have the pitching. Their best pitcher is pitching tonight. And August 4th is a trade deadline, so we'll see what's going on, if they're going to spend any money but I don't know. It's hard to make up 13 games in a division. They do, of course, have a wild card scenario. I don't think the Baltimore Orioles will be doing 11-game streaks after the All-Star game, but I've been wrong before. But listen, that's my feelings on those 2 teams. Again, Toronto had the perfect opportunity to knock out maybe 5 games or so over the last 2 weeks and just blew it. And You ain't making up 13 games against the Yankees. It's really hard to make up 13 games against any team that's ahead that far for the second half. That's just, it's not happening too often. So anyway, we'll get into start talking about pitching. Let's see what we think about the first half. Let's see what, second half of baseball to me is a whole different animal. I cap it a different way. The guys from that know me from being with Jimmy on the show and stuff, mostly in the chat, know how I play the second half, and I might do things a little bit different. I'll have to talk about it and see what my guest, a new friend of mine, and a real good guy, a real genuine guy, a good baseball capper, a guy who loves gambling, guy that loves the organic things in life, and so what's not to like about Dabby Cap? So let's get Dabby in here from Texas.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for having me on, Dom.
Austin, Texas? Is that what
No,
you said?
I said thanks for
Texas.
having me on. Dallas, Texas, actually.
Very, very welcome. Dallas, Texas. I spent a couple of weeks in Mesquite, Texas, a while back. Okay. Yeah, I had some family that lived there for a little while, and I remember seeing a couple of good concerts in outside a bar called Dallas Alley. Does that sound familiar?
Is it Deep
or a section? It was a section of like stores and bars, and I remember like the little section was called. I'm going back, by the way, probably 25 years. It was called Dallas Alley. I thought maybe that was a section still around. I guess not. But anyhow, I have fond memories of Dallas and being down there, so that's cool. So how's everything today? Good?
Yeah, good, man. Good. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I'm not a huge fan of betting baseball right before the All-Star break.
Yeah,
I'm doing that best bet thing with Jimmy and that other group that Ragoo did. So I did have to have 5 plays for them. So what I did is I made 5 bets for them in 2 games.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha. And that was for what, for tonight?
For tonight.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I actually Jose asked me to. Jose asked me to be on tomorrow with him. And I told him I'm not betting the games tomorrow or Sunday. I'm taking off for the weekend. Smart. And I can't come on and talk about games and tell you who I think you should bet on if I'm not betting on them. I just can't do it. So, and I hate not to be on, but because I enjoy it, as more I do it. But yeah, I can't do that.
I'm the same way. It's like right. I don't like getting on and not giving anything out. And if I give something out, I'm going to bet it. So right. I'm in the same boat. I understand that completely.
Exactly. So the first half of the MLB season, you had a pretty good one, didn't you?
At first,
overall you did, right?
I'm sitting right about even money right now.
Okay,
it has been a roller coaster. The first half I was up.
That's baseball.
Yeah, that's baseball, right? The first half I was up a ton. The last few weeks I've struggled, and it's one of those things. I kind of felt this. I know the All-Star break, it's really just the week before it that you want to watch it, but for me, it's the 2 and 3 weeks before it. It's kind of like a kid looking forward to Christmas. These players, these seasons are so long, and I know it's just like the idea of getting to even have a few days off to be with the family and, take a break. It's a big deal. I know that everyone loves the game and everything, but when you're playing 48 games in 50 days, which a lot of these teams do, a break is a big deal.
That's 100%. I agree. And I capped that way this week. That's why I cut down my plays, and I really took that into consideration. The way I capped, like especially the second half. I don't know if you knew this or what you think of it, but I basically have thrown out the April stats. I hardly even look at them anymore. I mean, they're there for some comparison, but especially with this spring this year, with those 2 weeks, we only had 2 weeks spring training. That month of April to me is a throwout, and it is every year. Second half, I really concentrate more of like from about the middle of June, right through. And then once I hit September, I'm really concentrating on the last 10 weeks, last 15 weeks, 10 weeks, 5 weeks. That's how I do it. And I've had a good success the last 4 out of 5 years, except for the COVID year, with the second half, but not first half. First halves have been, like you said, up and down, and they're tricky. If you think about we're going to talk about pitching. So if you think about the pitching, they didn't have their full work. Even the big home run hitters, the big bats, they need their swings in the spring. Right?
Yeah.
Same like
Yeah.
pitches. You know more about pitching than a lot of us. You need that spring training. That's huge for it. That's just not fucking around, throwing the ball around in Florida. Right?
No, it's a big deal. And it goes both ways, like you said, for the hitters, for the pitchers. And when you say throwing out the stats, these hitters, they need to see the ball. And I'm not just talking about see pitching, but they need to have multiple games under their belt before they're going to start hitting how they're actually going to hit for the season. That's why you saw these batting averages since nobody got that spring training. The batting averages were so low at the beginning of the year. It was comical if you looked across the board, but it's not because the baseballs or anything what anybody wants to talk about. Sure, that might have maybe something, but what it really had to do with was the spring training. Like you just said, the pitcher's not getting informed. Well, it was more of an advantage for the pitchers, if I'm going to be honest, because the hitters really need to see those balls for.
Oh, that timing wasn't down. In other words, yeah, I got you. They weren't seeing those release points. They weren't. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
You see all the unders that were happening, right? The unders were going crazy at the beginning of the year. It was nuts, and that's what had a lot to me doing good this first half because I just jumped on it and kept on banging. I wasn't, First 5 under 4.5 was like, doesn't even matter what team was playing. It was hitting. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
You could bet it across the board almost. For the first couple weeks, if you just blind bet every team first 5 under, if they had that 4.5, you were going to cash. Even the 3.5s were all pretty much hitting.
Yes. There's a reason why they were 3.5, right? So so I agree with that and with the pitching, and that's why like I said, I see a lot of pitchers doing a lot better the last couple of weeks than they were at the beginning of the season. And you got some guys that weren't doing great that everybody was betting against, and they're like, oh, how could this guy win? Well, that's how. Because he's finally, getting his innings in. He's finally getting his act together. Might be a young pitcher,
Well, and what I was going to say, too, for the second half is that's when you're going to see, too, some of these people who have done this. Like some of these young pitchers, sure, they've played summer ball or they've played on minor league teams that had extended seasons, but they've never played on a full 162 game season team. And when you start seeing some of these younger guys, in the later part of the season, we're going to really see whose arm is ready for it and who's not. And I think this spring training is going to start showing through in the next second half of the season, whose arm was in shape and whose wasn't.
Without a doubt. I mean, listen, there's a couple of pitches that, I was looking over that with innings pitched and stuff. And even a young guy like Strider, who I love, in Atlanta, I think he might even get a rookie, some kind of, I guess pitchers usually don't get a rookie of the year, but
he's really good.
He's really good. But, I was looking up to see what kind of, what he's used to. They said if he, within the next 3 games, he's going to be pitching, he's going to get up there in his innings. He pitched 106 innings in 2020, but across a bunch of levels. When he hit Clemson, he only pitched 12 innings. So he went through a whole succession of, of the minor leagues, I guess, whatever the levels are. And he pitched 106 innings. But now it's a whole big difference, pitching night in the majors, like you said. And he's been pitching. He's been putting his innings in, But boy, is he good. I like him a lot.
If he keeps getting that,
I wonder about him in the second half, though.
One thing that I think is key with him is that I think it was C-Mac who I was talking about it with. He's working on a changeup, a third pitch right now that he's not throwing much, but he's throwing it a little. He needs that third pitch. I don't care how hard you throw. If you only have two pitches, I mean, that's a closer. If you only have 2 really good pitches, right, that you can just drive home. If he's going to be a starting pitcher and extend these innings like this, he needs to have 3 different speeds. You have to have it. You have to have 3 different speeds for the hitter's timing. And, honestly, his changeup has looked great, but he's not throwing it much. But I think that's going to be a huge key for him is if he can develop that third pitch or not.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if they even use him for the pen, like once it gets to be like playoff time, or is Soroka coming back this year? Or I mean,
I don't know.
I could see them. I could see them. Maybe he has 50. It's the first time he's thrown over 56 innings. So he's thrown 56 innings so far this year. I wonder if they start limiting him a little bit and not try to. I don't really. The question is if Soroka's coming back or not, because I can see them maybe using him for the pen if he gets to the playoffs or something like that. Because especially with his 2 pitches, a young guy like that, he'd be a good addition to the pen if they don't need him on the starting staff.
No, exactly. And also too, when you're throwing 100 miles an hour, that's a lot on the arm. That's hard on the arm.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick the top 2 or 3 pitching like the staffs in baseball, who would you rank? The 1, 2, 3. I have a whole basically a whole bunch of different rankings for the bullpen and for the teams. But I was wondering what you thought. Like with starting pitching, I got the Dodgers as the top starting pitching staff in baseball. Do you agree with that?
Like right now, or when everyone's healthy?
Yeah. No, I mean right now it's really based on it's based on this year's so far what's going on this year.
Because I see your flag. I'm pretty excited to see when the Mets have a full staff, but that's if they can keep it.
Yeah, I mean I still have the Mets at a legitimate in the top 5 pitching.
What is DeGrom? How far does DeGrom boost that?
He pitched 70. I think he's pitching. He had a good AAA outing. He pitched 25, 30 pitches, and then he went up to I think if it's tonight or tomorrow, he's on a 70 to 80 pitch count, and he should be ready to go. I guess I'll give him a couple more. There's no need to rush him yet. Now that we got the All-Star break, now that we got Max back. Our pitching staff has been well, right? We have, surprisingly enough, names like Peterson and McGill is hurt, but he was pitching great. Walker, who was supposed to pitch today against Stroman,
he's been phenomenal.
Pitching good. The Bassett has, I mean, he should have. I'm not even sure if he got picked for the All-Star, but he was close. Walker, Bassett is coming around. I think he put a little bit too much pressure on himself. He had to get adjusted to New York a little bit. You could see it in Bassett, But another great pitch. I mean, we got a good pitching staff. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That's what I was gonna say. I don't know how much DeGrom boosts that. He probably puts that over the top 5. I could see the Dodgers being number 1. I'm just curious how high on that. Who's your 2 and 3? I'm curious. You got the Rays pretty high up.
I had it's all kind of interchangeable to me. It was the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Astros.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was gonna. I was curious how high you had the Rays up there. I like their staff.
And then I did have freaking Toronto up there, but they're slipping quick.
Yeah.
They're slipping quick. I had them in the top 10, top 8. Or whatever. I think I had him at 7 at one point. At 7.
What a disaster that team has been lately.
What a disaster! And that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. They could have knocked off at least 5 games in the last 2 weeks off the Yankees being ahead. 13 games or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, they're not. I think I heard you say that right when I came in. They're not making that up. I mean, I get it that it's a long season, but it's the Yankees. How bad do you think they're going to do? You can't.
It's hard to make that up in your division, man. No matter even any team that's up 13 games in your division, that's huge.
Exactly.
So that's huge. But so tell me this: what staffs do you think are the ones to really take a look at the second half that you think is going to carry these teams? So not carry, but go ahead.
So I think that we are. I think we're on opposite ends on this one because I know you've talked about. I saw it in the chat actually today that you said you thought you'd see regression, and now this is not an Astros staff or a Dodgers staff, but I enjoy the Padres pitching staff. I like their pitching rotation. I don't know what it is. There's something infectious with. Have you watched those guys really like in the dugout?
Frustrating. The most frustrating team to me in baseball is the Padres. They should be crushing it. It's not their pitching staff. It's their hitters. They're soft. They're a soft team. They're soft.
Oh, they're hitters.
You know what? I'm so mad still from the other day. I had the first 5 against the Rockies with Musgrove. I took the -1/2 first 5, which to me Dab, is probably one of the worst bets in baseball, that -half first 5, because you
Really?
eliminate that 0-0, that tie, and it happens every friggin' time.
It does.
So
I
that
swear.
game
Yeah.
against Colorado, he blows it. He gets up 6 runs. But listen, any pitcher can have a bad night. Nothing against Musgrove; he's a great pitcher. I would love him.
Mhm.
But it's not their staff so much. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
But
Because
it's
that's
the
what I
team.
wanted. That's what I like to hear, though, is
Yeah.
the. And I also I know that he's not going to be that huge, but I'm still excited to see the lineup once they get Tatis back in there. We'll see. We'll see what he does for him.
We'll
But
see.
the staff is just what I see from them is they have fun with it. It's kind of like Seattle when you watch them right now. When you see Rodriguez and some of those guys in the field, like they're just having so much fun playing the game. And I was just talking about people are looking forward to this All-Star break. Getting days off. When you see people that are still out there this close to the break, huge smiles on their face, joking around, having a good time. That stuff is infectious. Doug, what's going on in the dugout matters. I've been a part of so many different teams where it's like we have so many good players, but god dang, we can't. Damn, no matter what the fuck we do, we can't win. Excuse my language, but we can't win a game no matter what the hell we do. And then it's
Without
like
a
I've been
doubt.
on other teams where the chemistry is perfect. The talent might not have been there, but the chemistry was so well. It's like all we did was go out there and win. Didn't matter if we had to win 1-0 or 6-5. We found a way to do it.
You had the heart, and you had the right. And if you don't think that carries on to to the big leagues, you're wrong, because it definitely does carry on to the big leagues. The Seattle's been on a little bit of a run. It's been nice to see. I was on with Jose on a Sunday a few weeks ago when I said to him, I have a feeling that Seattle, and I also said the Tigers, but they really didn't. But they were going to go on a little bit of a run before the All-Star break, and Seattle definitely did, for sure. They've been playing well. It's funny you mentioned that, because I've been looking into that. I looked into their pitching staff, because they're another one that I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do the second half. If they're going to really make Gilbert has is going to be close to his highest innings within the next 3 starts, is the way it was put. So I guess within the next 15 or 20 innings, he's going to be at his high already for this year, which I don't like to see.
Is important. Yeah.
What?
It's important to know that.
I mean, he has a 2.80 ERA, which we know about ERAs, but he has which a stat that I like is the xERA. He has a 4.20 xERA and a 3.60 FIP. So, you can see, I mean, those numbers tell you that he might be going into a little bit of some bad games. But hey, we don't know how he's going to act with the innings, if he's going to be, because he's an important part of that staff, in Seattle. But that's that.
Sure.
I was looking at that, like which guys are getting high in innings already. Shane McClanahan, he had 123 innings last year. He's at 104 already this year. What do you think about that?
That's just great. I mean, so we're talking about not quite, but damn near doubling some of these people's inning for the first time if they're going to stay on their same rotation that they've been on, which is crazy to think about. And some people, they're going to show you that they can handle it. Other people, and it could be somebody as good as McClanahan, which I think he is amazing. Do not get me wrong. I think the dude is awesome, and I hope he makes me eat my words, but he's never pitched that many innings. And I'm interested to see what happens, when he's on his 140th inning or 160th inning.
Right. I worry a little bit about that with Alcantara too. He's pitching so many innings. I mean, I know that's his. I mean, he's a throwback. When I was growing up, every pitcher pitched. If he didn't pitch 7-8 innings, you thought something was wrong.
Yeah.
But Alcantara does that. Night in and night out. Now I don't know if he's still pitching tonight, and I think I probably had that game capped wrong, but I didn't know why Mattingly even had him starting if he's playing in the All-Star game. Like, why?
He shouldn't have been.
For what? Or I thought maybe he'd get pulled after the 5th inning. Maybe they wouldn't put him his usual 100 pitch count, 7 innings. So I took a stand with the over 7, but I looked in the 5th inning, it was 1-0. So I don't think I'm winning that play. But
you never know, though.
But so speaking about Tampa Bay, now last year, every time you thought they were down, they ended up winning, and Tampa Bay does that. But this year, they don't seem to be having that little magic with the pitching staff and with their bullpen games. I mean, I have them listed as like 14, as a starting pitching staff. On
that team, I know this isn't pitching, but you were talking about the Padres at the plate for you. Tampa kills me at the plate, man. I can't stand watching that team at the plate. It makes me so it's like sickening to watch.
It is. I got real lucky with them last night, and then I heard that my brother Big Ragoo was on the other side.
Oh no!
And so we both felt that one. And I got Tampa Bay tonight too, but Baltimore's on that 10-game winning streak. So
that's crazy.
Here's a stat for you. To win the 11th game on 10 win, it's 19-9 since 2020, I believe it is. These stats are. It's 19-9, and from 2021. It's 19-9 that teams are on 10-game winning streaks won the 11th game. 19 times, 19-9. It was like plus 7 something units, and it's like over 20% ROI, whatever the hell it was. So that's pretty interesting, I found a list about streaks, about winning the next game and staying with losing streaks, winning the next game. It was pretty interesting, So
that is, yeah. And those trends seem to hit more than people would think too. That's the same thing.
Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So when you cap in pitches, I won't keep you too long. When you're capping pitches, what do you really look at? What are like the 2 or 3 real main things that you look at right off the bat that's important to you?
Okay, so one thing that I think is interesting that we were just talking about is how the longevity of the season is going to affect these pitchers. One thing that I look at is I've always said this is a pitcher is doing one of two things. They're either progressing or they're regressing. They're not staying stagnant. And I've always tried to figure out a better way to explain what I'm trying to say when I say that, but it has to do with arm health. It has to do with arm strength. You're not going to see a pitcher who has a 3 ERA every game. Like these things are developed from trends, from up and down trends. And somebody is either getting better or they're getting worse. There is no in between. And one of the main things I'm looking at is for that right there. Do I think that this pitcher is progressing, whether it be a young guy, is he progressing in it from season to season, or whether it's this very season and I'm looking at the last 15, the last 7 games. I want to see where somebody's at, not necessarily where they've been. Right. And or how they're getting there, right? How they got there.
I got you. Yeah. Right. That makes sense. No, that makes sense. And I get what you're saying about I get what you're saying with with that. That's definitely important. What else do you try to look at?
Other than for the specific pitcher, I'll look at like your matchups. So if and nobody can hit a slider anymore, so let me not talk about a slider. But if we have a power pitcher, right? And I wish I should have had it.
You're so right about that. I almost like I watch Alonso whiff at it like he doesn't know how to hit a baseball.
Just ass out and head down, bat flinging out at the ball. Just it's so hard to watch. But I'll figure out like it's not necessarily just the how did this team hit? Like I knew the Braves crushed. I've got the Braves on. Sorry, that's where my eyes are going. I knew the Braves crushed Corbin. I knew he had a good start last time, but I knew in general the Braves crushed him. And they crush lefties, especially lefties that can leave the ball up in the zone like Corbin does. So it's not just necessarily needing to know that, the Braves crush lefties. I know that Corbin's been leaving the ball up a lot lately. I know he's having a huge problem getting his breaking ball down. So with this Braves team and the way that they're hitting right now and the way that they hit lefties, even if they sucked against Corbin, I still would have taken him today just because I know where Corbin's trending and how his pitches are trending up.
Right.
He's trending up in the zone. And if you look at the Braves metrics against like pitchers that do that, it's off the charts.
So you look at that, when you're looking at pitches, you pay attention to where they're with that zone pitching, where that's going. Because I like seeing that. I love where they have that. There's so much information today. It's almost an overload for somebody like me that didn't grow up with all of it. But I get it. That's a good thing to look at without a doubt. And do you look? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say it's something too. I don't know if you live bet or if anybody watching. What up, drinking hand, Nate? I see you guys over there.
Yeah.
If anybody watching is into live betting, but when you see a pitcher who's now Corbin for me was an instant fade because he's doing it right away, but who's starting to struggle getting their breaking ball down, and it's just here's the motion that you're looking for with the ball. This right, and I know you've seen it because I know you've watched it. But when the ball starts doing this, okay, up and away. When your ball starts fading up and away, when that thing starts going like this in the zone, or that breaking ball starts going like this, and it just kind of stays up there, that pitcher's done. He's toast.
Yeah.
And I know the coaches are going to try and get another inning out of him. And maybe sometimes they get lucky and it happens because they miss a bat. But you can tell when these guys are done. And these coaches try and push them because of the way that they got to keep the pitch count or the rotation or the bullpen, and they'll push these pitchers like Darvish last year. I hated watching it because I know a lot of people got on him and wanted to fade him, but what the Padres did, foul good. What the Padres did to him was criminal, man. They would just leave him out there to bleed in the 7th inning so many times, and it's like, as a viewer, it's like he's done. Take him off the damn mound, and you're just leaving him
from the couch, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You're leaving him out there for 4 or 5 runs just to bleed and die. And that's one of those things. So it's like, I really do pay attention to each of these pitchers. Anderson's another one. I keep using this as an example, but it's because I have it. Anderson's a big guy. He's a big righty.
Yeah.
And even when he was struggling earlier in the year, I knew that if he could get control of his zone, he has good enough stuff. He's on top of the ball. It's got that movement, that downward movement that I'm looking for. It's not running up and away. And so it's not just an ERA based type thing and I mean, I know everybody knows that, but you can't just look at an ERA and say, oh, this is who the pitcher is. No.
Right.
What are they doing right now? Like, where are they trending? Is their velocity going up? Is it going down? Is it, because it's not staying the same. That's just, even if it's just a little bit, it's not staying the same. I promise.
That's the point. That's a good point to drive home. I love that point that you made about that. That they don't just stay the same. They're either gonna, get better or they're gonna regress. That's pretty good. Without a doubt.
I can
nasty. Nasty 8 is in the chat, and drinking hand is in the chat. Thanks for coming in, guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, I can tell you as a pitcher because I've been there before.
Right.
When you get that to that point where your arm's done, if you didn't prepare it for the season, and I'm not proud to say I've been there, but I think anybody who's pitched has been there before. When you hit that wall, it's just like, oh shit, I'm gonna feel like this next. Like your arm is just dead. It's just dead. It's gone, and there's nothing you can do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
I can relate. I get it. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
When you pitched, you pitched where? Where did you pitch? In college,
college, I was well, first I got drafted by the Brewers out of high school, which is cool. But that was
very cool.
Early 2008, 2009, when everybody still thought college was impossible to do if you didn't go right away. So I kind of listened, and I went to Texas Tech, and I threw there for a few years. Then I signed with the Pirates. And that's where I failed my physical, and haven't played since.
Right.
I failed because of an arm, by the way. My arm was all torn to shit.
Yeah. And listen, you had the experience, and it's a great experience, and something that'll be with you forever. And you did something that that a lot of us wish we did. So hats off to you, man. You did that's a good thing. And listen, that's why about pitching and stuff, and why I want to really talk to you. What kind of stats are important for the pitchers? Like is like I love to look at I like the ratio in between strikeouts and walks. I always love to look. That's one thing I always look at. A new stat that I started following, which I like, is the putouts. With 2 outs, are these pitchers putting guys out? With 2 strikes, are they putting guys out? I thought that's a pretty interesting stat, and that's a stat I never really used up until this year. And left on base. That's another one I think is important. How about you?
It is. That's so like tonight I'm with Darvish who I was just talking about, he's one of those people who will leave people on base. He'll just do it because he'll get nastier and nastier when people get on base. And so I like to look at that strikeout to walk ratio. Also, anybody who walks people, I will never back. You will never.
Right.
I don't care. I don't care what the line says, what everyone else is saying. If you've got a pitcher that struggles with walking people, I won't back them. But that's the pitcher in me. I hate walks more than anything on the planet. So I like to compare the whip to the batting averages also. I think whip is extremely important.
Yeah, me too.
Go ahead.
And yes, me too. No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, me too. I said to Jimmy on the show last week, if I see a whip with a zero in front of it, that's I love to see that. You know,
so, yeah,
it starts with zero. Yeah, I love to see that.
That's what Darvish. He's got a .99 whip on the season right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I love seeing that, man. I agree with you. I love seeing it. And then on the flip side, you see somebody like Dallas Keuchel come up there, and I think he's the only pitcher I've capped that had a 2 on his whip.
Yeah.
It was like I don't remember the exact number, but it was a 2 something. It was a 2 something.
I gotta listen. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Tell me. Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So you nailed it with the whip, and then comparing your batting average. If you got a guy you'll see a lot of pitchers. Madison Bumgarner. He's playing the Padres. Another Wainwright. There we go. I'm like another old pitcher that's still going, doing good. Wainwright. You'll notice, I think his opponent batting average is around like 265 or something like that on the season. I actually don't have it written out in front of me, but he's one of those guys who can get ground balls and pitch around people being on base. But if you've got somebody who's got if they're going to walk people and they have a 250 or higher on an opponent batting average, that pitcher's a fade for me instantly. So if the opponent batting average is over 250 and they tend to walk people and I've got a decent hitting team, I'm firing away against that pitcher.
That's a good number. I like that. Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. Now, before we get out of here, let's just touch a little bit on, so we're starting pitching staff. So no matter how you look at it, you got, the Astros, you got the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Braves, the Mets, you got all those guys really up in there, right? As top, pitching staffs. Going strong in the second half, do you see any of those teams not having the same success they had in the first half? For instance, do you think
what the common answer would be? You know what most people's answer would be the Mets, because they don't usually. But I think the Mets. God, I hope I don't.
Something's different this year. Yeah,
I think so too.
I'm a fan, so I try not to talk about it. But guys, people that know me know I was never really a Met bettor. I bet a lot of totals when it comes to them. I know the team, and I bet I go on team totals, I go on the game totals. But it's taking them as a side. Never have I taken them as much as this year, but it warranted it this year. I have no problem going against my team, but I went against them 5 times and lost all 5 this year.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, then don't bet
against them 5
times.
Anymore. Went against them all, in some fashion or another. I went against their pitcher or, like taking a team total over on the other team, any which way that I went against them. Yeah. But
that's like 2 losses. That's like taking 2 losses in one because it's your team and you bet against them. And you lost the bet.
But listen, we're pitching. I was surprised, like I said, with guys like Peterson and Walker, guys I mentioned before. I was a little surprised at how they're pitching. And I think they're only getting better. Carrasco's getting better. He had a good start yesterday, which I predicted. I took his K prop. It was over 5.5. He had 3 in the first inning, which I was shocked at. I thought he was going to get hit in the first inning like he has been. But he had a good start. He's coming, Carrasco, little by little, is getting there. This is when we need him. Now we're going to get a healthy, hopefully, DeGrom, or at least a healthy arm as far as innings. We have a good shot.
People aren't going to like to hear this, but the team that kills me the most, man, and I know that the Yankees rely on big hits so much.
Home runs.
And they got that Cracker Jack Park that they're playing in that's, friendly to the home run. I think they're a really good team, obviously, but last time I looked, they had like a 233 a team batting average or something like that. Oh wow, that sounded like it was my phone.
Yeah, And you can't say who it was. It's Teece.
Oh,
Go ahead.
gotcha. I love Teece. Awesome guy. But shoot, and I lost train of thought. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, the Yankees. I can't stand the Yankees at the plate, man. I cannot stand them. And every time, just like you said, when you go against the Mets, every time I bet the Yankees, they don't score. Not a little bit. Like they don't score at all when I go with them. And I know they can put 13 up with 7
home runs.
Do. But
no, they've been a good under team this year. I've bet a lot of unders with the Yankees. I'm telling you, and I know a lot of people think the opposite with them. No, I'm agreeing with you. I see a little bit of, I see, like I said before, I think I can see them, having a little bit regression. And after the All-Star break, and their pitching staff is starting to have a lot of innings on them. Cortez is starting to add up those innings. They got a couple old arms on that staff. I agree with you. But they have such a lead in the division that they're going to be. Let's see what they do with the trade deadline. Is there anybody anybody you're looking at in the trade deadline? You thinking,
Castillo. Who do you think?
One of your teams.
Castillo. Well, so I'm a fan of whoever's making me money. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a huge fan of any in particular team, but I'm interested to see where Castillo goes.
Me too.
I
would love the Mets to grab him.
You want the Mets?
Sorry, I said it today. I said it. They would ask me 2 pitches. I said Castillo or Tyler Mal. I would love to see either one of them in Citi Field. I have a feeling they would be good. I think the Mets are going after an arm. So
I heard the Dodgers and the Yankees were the leading 2 teams to get Castillo.
They probably are. No, I said I would like him on the Mets. I didn't say they were. Yeah, no, I would love to see him on the Mets. Yeah.
I don't want them to get him. I agree with you completely. I don't want either of those teams to get him.
Though, damn it. The Yankees, everyone always says, every guy that's being traded or has a contract coming up, you hear the freaking Yankees, It's just disheartening.
You see anybody who's just like a beast, like that's new, right? That's dropping bombs or pitching good, and you're just like, oh, might as well go ahead and picture him in a Yankee uniform because it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, that's true. But, listen, so, the other thing that's just as important in a starting pitching is obviously the bullpen. So,
sure.
Listen, we got Phillies up 2-1 in Miami. Got 3 runs in. Never know what happens with that Philly bullpen. Even Miami could score a couple of runs. Maybe I have some luck here. I do have the over 8 in the Yankee game. It's 3-3 in the 4th.
There you go. That's a quick over.
And Toronto, sorry, Jose, but Toronto is winning 4-1. But it's only the 5th, so that might work with his fading to 300. Yeah.
Let's see. I got.
But bullpens, yeah. Bullpens. That's to me, that's big. Go ahead. What were you gonna say? What do you have tonight?
Oh, since you were doing scores, I was just gonna say.
Yeah. Tell me.
I got the Braves first 5 and the Braves run line. I had to give him 5 bets for that show, so I gave him 2 bets on the Braves games and 3 bets on the Padres game.
Okay, well, the 2 on the Braves game is looking real good.
Well, I jinxed it.
5-0.
Oh wait, that's the Braves. Oh wow, I thought it was the
Braves
Nationals.
are up 5-0. Top of the 5th, brother.
There we go. Yeah, 6-0. They just hit. They just
okay. There you go.
There we go.
So here's a list I got for you. Top 5 bullpen ERAs. They only went to ERAs, but you know what? ERA to me, if you're talking about the bullpen as a staff, even a starting staff, if you're talking ERA, it's a little bit more. To me, it gives you a little bit more info. It's a little bit more helpful than a pitcher individual ERA type of thing. Does that make any sense? Like I feel like I know a little bit more with like a bullpen ERA, especially because there's always there's so many guys pitching and stuff. Houston has them. Wow, some of them have a lot of innings, man. They have. Let's see the top. The lowest, okay, not the highest. We should go lowest. Lowest ERA bullpen is Houston, 2.65, 26 saves. The Yankees, 2.95, 30 saves. Then the Tigers, 3.06. Well, we knew the Tigers had a good bullpen, but the Tigers, and the reason why they've been a pretty good other team, they got 23 saves. The Braves are right behind the Tigers with a 3.10 ERA for the bullpen. That could get them in a little bit of trouble late in the year. Then the Orioles, then the Dodgers, then Tampa, and it goes on. Cincinnati's the worst bullpen with 5.65
Their
ERA.
bullpen is so bad.
Yeah, it's so
bullpen
bad.
is so bad.
But what bullpens do you like? Do you or do you know? Do you?
I mean, you said it with the Astros bullpen. I mean, God, you can't go wrong with that bullpen. That bullpen is just a beautiful thing. You know, you said what you said about looking at the overall bullpen ERA. That's so important because, you know, you're not given that lifeline or that rope as a starting pitcher, like trying to get through it. If you come out of the bullpen and you don't have it, your ass is getting yanked right away. You're not staying in there. So like you might have a lefty come in just for one lefty, or somebody who throws sidearm like Darren O'Day for the game come in for one pitch. Like he might come in for one pitch and get one ground ball, and then he's out, right? And he doesn't come back in. So I guess what I'm getting at is like the overall ERA for your bullpen is so important to look at because that's what it is. You're dealing with the whole bullpen. You're not dealing with one person. I
mean, even the Mets 3.53 ERA. That's not that great. Even with Diaz, don't they have to? They took away that rule in the bullpen. They took away the rule of you got to face two batters.
Did they change that?
Did they change that this year?
Did they? Right? Is that a rule?
I mean, that wasn't a rule, wasn't it? No. The bullpen,
maybe it is.
They changed that rule last year where they had, and I was going to bring that up. Like that made the pitching a little bit different with the bullpens, and it might be why these ERAs are a little bit higher than I would suspect them to be, because pitchers can't. I believe they still got to face two batters. Now we got to find out. We really should know that.
Is that for the whole time thing? Or they're trying to speed baseball games up, right?
Yeah, but that was last year. I thought they carried on. I thought it carried on to this year, but I could be like the guy on second base in extra innings carried on this year.
Yeah,
I believe that
it probably did.
We should know that.
I definitely should know that. I'm sorry I don't, but I can't think of an instance. I can't think of an instance where. I can't think of an instance where it happened.
Right.
I know that when I played, people would come in for one hitter, and
it was like that. Listen, that's why I feel like they're taking moves away from the pitch, from the manager, and I don't like that guy on second base in extra innings, and I don't like anything that screws up the rules. Listen, I like that both leagues now are the DH, but if you would have asked me, I would have said no DH for both. I agree, both leagues had to be the same. It was ridiculous all these years. It wasn't. But I always like no DH. To me, that's a lot of baseball, but we love baseball. We love that little intricate stuff, so.
I agree with you, though, on the either way. Like, regardless of if you're going to go no DH or give a DH, like, just do it the same, both sides. I hated the fact that, half the league did and half the league didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Teece in the chat. What up, Teece? That's my boy. Teece, me and Teece hooking up together, hitting Las Vegas, Nevada, August 2nd.
In August, right?
You need to get your ass there, my brother. We can get you in a room somewhere. That's what I got to tell you.
I told Teece I'm going to try.
Yeah, but we are going, and it should be good. It's fun out there. To me, I think a low bag or pub sports, whatever trip should always be to Las Vegas. It's just so much fun with all the guys, and anywhere is all fun, like they're talking about that Atlantic City thing. That'll be great. And that's our neck of the woods. So we would love to have, for once, I don't have to get on the plane to go to a go to the meeting, but to go to a get together. But I've been on a bunch of them, but they sure are fun. So, obviously I missed the last one, but we are doing it again in August. But that'd be great if the Atlantic City thing gets together. That'd be a good thing, man. That'd be a lot of fun. Atlantic City is a lot of fun. It's a weird place. There's like two areas of it where it's like 4 or 5 miles apart, but there's like the boardwalk and the beach right there. The waves, and it's right there. And there's a whole bunch of hotels on that boardwalk where you could walk to 4 or 5 different sports books now now that it's
Oh,
legal.
sweet.
So it's right there. Bally's, Caesars, Tropicana, blah, blah, blah. They're all there. Hard Rock. And then like 5 miles away is really the best hotel out of all of them, but it's 5 miles away, and it's like by itself, which is the Borgata. There's a couple more over there, Harris and stuff, but it's not like you could get out and walk anywhere. In Atlantic City, they had the boardwalks. That's cool like that. That makes it nice where guys don't have to get into a car, don't have to do none of this, get drunk, blind drunk and bounce around to the, we just take over a sports book and, AC is a little bit different than it used to be because with the legal gambling, the sports books put some money in there. FanDuel, DraftKings, those guys, Caesars, MGM Grand, they put some money in there. So, it's not as cheap as it used to be in the off season, but it's still fun. So hopefully you guys get out there. You've never been there?
I've never been there. And I've actually never been to Vegas. So
yeah, I get that. I get that. How old are you?
31.
31. All right. Yeah, my daughter's 33. I get it. I get it, man. You'll get out there. It's fun. You'll have a blast when you get out there. I always tell people the first time they go to Vegas, they got to stay on the Strip because that's where you get the full vibe and you can walk to all the different hotels and But now, like I've gone there so many times. It's better for us to be off the Strip, but we're still close by. But where we stay is really something that Big Ragoo always stayed, and we just migrated to that place, to Orleans, and they treat him like gold, and him and his boys have been going there for years, and with DJ, Bigboss, and all those guys. So they treat us really good over there, and it's a lot of fun. It's just fun to be with all the boys, like
Yeah. Yeah. Well, San Antonio was so much fun, man. I can't wait to do something like that again, and doing it in a place like Vegas, Atlantic City. Sorry, I keep looking up sideways at this game.
No, that's all. That's fine. Let you get out of here. We've always been on for it's almost 9 o'clock.
Wow.
Second half. Any teams you're looking at? Give me a sneaker team and give me some thoughts on the second half of baseball. Rub that baseball up, baby.
Yeah, I got to think when you say that. I was like, okay, I think the Mariners are onto something. I was saying that I like to watch these teams for a sneaky team, and I know it's like, what do you mean sneaky? They've been winning, but like, who really thinks they're gonna?
That's right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Who thinks they're gonna keep doing it? I think they could.
I consider that sneaky. I consider them sneaky without a doubt. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they could. I think they.
Sure.
They could surprise.
They could surprise some teams. Let's see, like I was talking about with some of their pitches, with their with their innings, counts and stuff. Let's see where they could do it. Last year I was high on them the second half, and they didn't fire. They were on that kind of trajectory that as last year. They were starting to get hot towards the All-Star break. So let's see. Would they had a little bit of experience? Maybe they'll make a move at the deadline, August 4th. That'll be interesting.
That's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. Were you surprised about the Mets really played dominant over the Braves all 3 games? I mean, Buck Showalter did exactly what you just talked about before. He left Peterson in way too long. I was screaming at my couch, "Take him out! Take him out!" What my girl going like, really?
Yeah, like, right. Like he can hear you. You say it loud enough, he's going to hear you.
Really, dude. But and I knew, and the next pitch it was a 3-run homer.
Isn't that the worst feeling when you just see it?
Were you surprised? Because I know you're a Braves fan, right? Are you a Braves fan? Or you just
no. I'm not a Braves fan. I am now.
You've been riding them a lot. They've been the team to ride. But I have a feeling that they're not. I don't know about if their pitching can hold up in the second half, and that's what I'm looking at. Teams with pitching, I don't know if are they going to hold up or not. Is there anybody you think? Yeah, what do you think?
Their pitching staff, like you just said, their pitching staff is questionable if they're going to be able to hold up for the rest of the season. I don't think they have some of the guys that are as proven as like some of the Astros pitchers or the Dodgers pitchers, so to speak. I think the Braves was somebody to watch out for. I still think their lineup is God. I would hate to pitch to their lineup.
Potent.
Yeah,
but in a playoff series, for me, I look at the Braves obviously because that's who I have to look at in my division, and they made a real run at this. The Mets had a golden opportunity to go into this like 10 games up, and but I knew they were headed for a little bit of a spot. They weren't. Come on, they were. It was going.
If I had to choose, Mets or Braves right now at this moment.
Uh-huh.
I do not think what the Mets just did was a fluke. I think I'd take the Mets.
Yeah, yeah. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was big for the Mets to go into that game without our best lineup, and not playing our best ball against a team that was playing a very good ball for us to
They
win
are
2 out
playing
of
their
3
best.
was to play 2 out of 3 was good for it. It was a good notion. But yeah, the Braves, I never counted the Braves out. Trust me, I
Mhm.
have a couple fade teams for the second half. I think the Red Sox are going to fade away. I really do. I think the Orioles,
I
if
was
they
going to
don't
say
make a
that.
move, if the Orioles don't make a move, they're going to fade away. The Phillies, that's really, that's how I feel. The team I've been doing well with, and who played terrible at the beginning of the year, a lot like Seattle, and a team a lot like Seattle are the Guardians. They've
Okay.
pitched, they've won some games lately, and when you say sneaky teams, I think they could be a sneaky team. And what I consider a sneaky team is a team that's going to win some games against some teams that they probably shouldn't win. And like a
Okay.
team like Seattle, they'll go in and beat they'll go beat a big team, and I feel the same way with Cleveland has been like that. We'll see if if that happens going forward. But I think they're a little bit sneaky. Not that I think they're going to make any kind of run, but the Twins is another one there. I were high on them again last year, and they kind of faltered away. I'm not sure if they have the pitching staff either
That's what I was going to
to
say. The
go
Twins
those
are kind of like,
distance.
I wouldn't say like the Braves, but the Twins, they got a
They got a
great
great
lineup, man.
lineup, right?
Just a great lineup, but their staff
The
is where
Braves
I,
pitching is a better staff. The Braves got a
yeah,
better pitching staff than the Twins. Yeah, without a doubt.
yeah,
Without a doubt. It was great talking pitching with you, Dabby. Great talking
absolutely.
baseball with you, man. It's good that we got together. We'll be doing I'll be, keep on. I love doing shows like this. I rather talk about handicapping and rather talk how we like I want to get to do shows and like we pick a game and we just how we cap that game, and really put
Absolutely.
it out like that because people are asking me a lot of questions lately, and there's a lot of new gamblers out there. So that's what we've been trying to do over here at WhoBangin, and who knows, maybe someday someone will pick it up or whatever. But I love talking about betting, any sport. But I could talk about MLB like all day long.
This is
We were
what
supposed
you're
to have our
doing
friend.
here.
Yeah, excuse me.
What
Say
you're
that
doing
again.
here is invaluable, man. It's invaluable.
Yeah.
It's so great, especially with the like you said, the new gamblers, and with legalization, there's only going to be more new gamblers. And you can turn on thousands of, hey, here's my best or my pick, and if you want my best bet
Right.
bullshit, that that doesn't help
Right.
nobody. That
No.
that doesn't help anybody.
No.
Talking about the games, talking about the pitchers, talking about, different aspects of the game, that helps everybody. Talking about how to
Right.
bet it, like I love it. And that's why I'm in your chat when I'm not on screen with
Yeah,
you. I'm
yeah. I
I'm
know.
here.
I appreciate that. Listen, I've gotten better over the last 5 years when I really became switched from a recreational sports bettor to more of a I call it like a part-time job, and that's from not listening to people's picks. And I don't follow people if their picks or anything, but what they say when they're talking about the picks. Like I pull things a little bit out of when I hear Big Ragoo saying something, I'm picking out something he's talking about that has nothing to do with his pick, but I could use that. I don't know if that makes sense, but I
It's
grab something from
knowledge.
everybody, and me and DJ Big Boss always said something that there's nothing wrong with capping the cappers to make yourself
Yeah.
better, and it works if you follow the right guys. You stay away from that. This is my 3% and my 5% play. I don't believe in none of that. I'm a one
No.
unit guy. It's 1 unit. Sometimes it's a half a unit because my K props and stuff, I put a half unit. But I'm a 1 unit guy. Very rare do I play 2 units. Maybe, there's been 5 or 6 times this year that I've done that. And that's how I do it. And I just been trying to increase my unit size from where it was every year. I try to increase it a little bit. And, that's how I do it.
That's beautiful. I've recently started doing that. Like, I say recently, I want to say January is where I finally like buckled down and I was like, okay, here's a unit for each play. And I started
Right.
doing that, and God, it's helped me. It's
Discipline, man.
changed. It's
Yep.
changed everything. And now bad days, nothing ever is going to make a bad day okay. But it's like,
Right.
they are so much more tolerable now that I have bankroll discipline, man. So
That's a big thing. That's a big thing, man. Bankroll discipline. It's a big thing. I mean, years ago, I was, it was recreational, and I had a small moving business. I had a couple trucks. So I was making decent money on Long Island. It was nothing. Oh, we're going to the game tonight. All right, I'll throw 200 on the game. We're gonna go to the bar and watch this. And I would throw a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. It was like that. That's how I gambled. There was no. But then when I decided to, when I sold everything, I decided to just start gambling, sports betting, because I seen that I had a little knack for it. So what I started 5 years ago when I met Jimmy and Pete and everybody happened to correlate. I got lucky that it correlated with that. I started at $25 a unit, and I had no problem saying it, and I still got no problem saying it. And there's a lot of guys out there betting 25 and 30 and 40 bucks that are very good cappers. So I heard somebody in Jimmy's chat last week say, "Oh, I can't trust a guy." Imagine trusting a guy that's only betting whatever he said per game, 30 for the. And I'm like, it's all relative. Everybody don't have a goddamn ton of money, number one. Number two, you're probably betting over your head. You probably shouldn't be betting, I mean, you really should have a good bankroll just to bet $100 a game, let alone more than that. So, and most of us bet more than we probably should be from our bankroll, but
right.
I don't think that, the amount of money bet has nothing to do with handicapping. And
it doesn't. Integrity, honesty. The most important thing is like integrity and being honest about when you win and lose. And if you show me somebody who loses but acknowledges the fact that they lose and then learns from that loss, that's a good capper. That's a good capper. That's a good and that's not just capping. That's life. If somebody can say, okay, this isn't working. This isn't working.
Transparency, man. Oh, yeah. Thank God. In life, forget about it. I changed 50 friggin' times in life. Thank God, or I wouldn't be sitting here. Trust me. But no, I agree with you. And transparency, like I said, that's something like that. Even Jimmy and them, they started preaching from day one. And, hey, listen, I have no problem putting out. I went 0-6 last Friday. I had it out. I went 0-5. I dropped 6 units. I had no problem. I mean, it happens. If you see these guys on Twitter, especially, all of a sudden they disappear. You don't hear from them. You hear that, they're winning. Now I haven't heard from them in a month,
Yeah. And then they show back up out of nowhere with the same record that they used to have.
Yes. And like I said, those guys with their 3% and their 5%, that's just red flag stuff for me. But Big Ragoo came in the chat. He loves his Dabby Cab. So Doc, I'm trying to get him to come out to Las Vegas. We're gonna give him a horse and buggy and get him to come out there.
I think I'm gonna join you guys. I got to get a flight and figure out the room. But Teece has been on me about it.
Yeah, if you could do it, why not, man? We'd love to have you. What you and Dutch are doing is great, man. You guys teamed up. It was a good team up. I see it's a good team. So you guys should even with daily fresh stops, you guys should stick together and do whatever, continue it, evolve from that, because it's good, man. It's fun. What you're doing now is fun. And having that dude call up from jail was great, man.
Oh, Big Happy?
Yeah. Brings back memories. Big Happy. That's his name. Yeah. Big Happy, huh?
Big Happy.
Is he he's locked up for a while or what, that guy?
Yeah, he's been in there for 19 years. So he's been
down
for a good
portion
of his life. I know he's Dutch's uncle.
Okay, gotcha. That's what he is. Yeah.
He couldn't come on yesterday or today because he got in a 72-hour lockdown. So shout out to him. We're excited to have him back on.
Yeah, that happens very quickly over there, man. But Much love to Big Happy. I'll have to ask Dutch about him and reach out to him, see if we could do anything for him. Those guys always like a little commissary, Still works even after all these years. But anyhow, man, what you guys are doing is great, Dabby. Love having you on here, man. WhoBanginSportstalk. Like I say, we like to. I was breaking Jose's balls today. I said we gotta, we try not to go against anything with pub, but you guys are on 24/7. There's nothing we can do,
Hey, man,
because I know Razor started at 8:00, and it was hard to, I don't like really, trying to, but we do our best, and like I say, Razor's on till midnight, so it's I don't feel so bad. We do an hour.
No,
usually
this is a big family.
Yeah,
this is a big family.
And we love that you guys realize that, and that it's just grown and grown. You know, man. Like that's the way we look at everybody. It doesn't matter if you've been hanging with us for a year, for 5 years, for a few months. It just
Well,
seems to
I'm the
be the
few
same
months.
kind of people. Yeah. I mean, it seems to be the same
Some
people, like the same kind of thinking, and the age difference. I mean, listen, I'm going to be 65 in a couple of weeks, man. There's a lot of big age difference, and it doesn't matter. You know, it
at
don't
all.
matter. You know,
It's
I hang
it's
out with all
cool
young
to
cats here anyhow. So,
it's
but
so cool the
anyhow,
group that
yeah,
gets brought together.
yeah. And pub
Just
sports
from
really helped there, you know, because
Yep.
after Jimmy left SBR, it was like, okay, now what? And then he went to another place that didn't work, then another place, you know. Now when he found this place, you know, because we go where Jimmy goes, we followed. So it was great. And pub was the perfect mesh, you know. I don't know anything about your boss there except for what I see today with the gas mask. So I know nothing about him, but I give him respect for that. That's for sure.
It's crazy to hear that from you because you Ragoo, DJ Big Boss, you guys are OGs to me. When I started watching this stuff, this is new to me, man. Only a few months have I been even putting stuff in Jimmy's chat, and you guys were like the OGs to me that I first tuned into, and we're talking just like last November, right? Last October when I started it.
Uh-huh.
And so now hearing you say that, it's kind of surreal because it's like, yeah, you were who I was just watching.
Yeah, gotcha, man. Gotcha. That's great, man. Like I said, man, we love having you. We're glad you're part of the group.
Thanks,
And
man.
let everybody know where. Give yourself a little plug, and I'll let you go roll a big fat bat.
Yeah, that sounds great right now. In the weekend, but yeah, the daily sesh with me and Dutch. I appreciate all the love you showed us. It's a blast, man. I enjoy working with him. We kind of told each other we're gonna give each other a hard time, and it was just understood. It's hard to find that with people, man. A lot of people you can't push buttons and stuff, but we both acknowledge like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and it's fun. So I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I love Dutch. He's one of my favorite people. I love Dutch. And go ahead, keep going.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say daily sesh, but Pub Sports Radio, and hopefully here with you and you guys on WhoBangin. Also, I love coming on here with you guys. So
yeah,
it's all a big family, man.
Like you said, one big family, man. I love it, and we'll be talking in the chat. We'll be taking a little break over the weekend. All-Star weekend should be fun. See Pete Alonso win the home run derby again.
You betting on him? Are you betting on him?
I don't do that. I don't
Okay.
I don't bet All-Star games and stuff. I stopped all that. But no, I
have a question though. One question for you. Do you think there's anything wrong with making like a fun bet for something like that? Just a small bet, just for fun?
Not at all. No, not at all. No, yeah. I think it's no fun. But like I say, when I do K props, I make them a half a unit because to me they're kind of like a fun prop, and who knows with a K prop what the hell's going to happen. I mean, I had a pitcher a couple of weeks ago. He got hurt in the third batter. There goes my K prop, But no, there's never nothing wrong with putting a fun bet in. I was trying to tell Jose that with his minus 300 fade. As long as you don't get crazy with it and really think that it's a legitimate thing that'll carry on forever and ever, like that kind of thing. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's up like 10 units, so he has a big room to play with. So he's on a good roll with that. He started at a good time. But if he continues it throughout the year, I don't know how good it's going to be at the end of the year, especially with a lot of what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot more minus 300 bets that have to play.
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
And there's going to be a lot more teams that can't lose that minus 300 game playing in those situations.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of
But for an example, though, nothing wrong with putting a little fun bet here and there. Listen, I said it the other day when I bet the Mets against the Braves. I said my tweet, pure emotional bet. Total rookie move I put, but I'm taking the Mets in this series plus 145.
You cashed.
They're coming into the series bad. They didn't have their best lineup. I had a couple guys out. Marte was out. McNeil was out. But again, so yes, nothing wrong with that, man. But like Doc will tell you, discipline is the main thing, man. And 95% of the time, of course, you could always, nothing wrong with, nothing wrong throwing in a 3-4 team parlay once in a while, or a $40 friggin' round robin that you could hit maybe 600-700 on, fuck it,
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. But we'll keep you on the straight and narrow, Dabby Cab. That's for sure. Got to keep make sure you guys don't all stay. Because listen, we all know about gambling. I'm gonna do a show about that too. Listen, there's a fine line you walk, man. It's not the easiest game. You got something you got to control, and there is a whole addiction thing to talk about. And people don't want to bring it up, but it's a legitimate subject. So hey, discipline helps you along all those roads. So anyhow. Again, I'll talk for another hour. Let me get you out of here, Dabby. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
Peace, love you, and I will see you soon, man.
See you soon, man. Thanks again,
brother. All right. That is Dabby Cab, man. Good kid, man. We got a lot of nice young cats coming up. We were, like to me, the young cats were like, Ski and Dutch. Even though to me they're still old school young cats. But Dabby now and Jose coming in, guys I'm just meeting stuff. It's great to have those guys, in the mix. And like I said, between all of us, the big age groups, the people from all over the country, people with all different kind of thoughts, different ways of handicapping. We got guys from playing that just play dogs to guys that play big favorites to everything in between. It's great. It's only going to get better. We got college football coming up. Something I've been trying to get better and better at. I follow DJ, Bigboss, and Big Ragoo with that. That's just a must follow when overall. But they just love college football, so that's why I always think to me it's their best because they just love it so much. So, but anyhow, you know the drill. Anyhow, this is Dominic Ricci. Let me get us out of here and have a good weekend. All-Star game should be fun. Don't get too sick of Pete Alonso winning another one, and I will see you all soon. Peace out.